BC's Environment Ministry is moving quickly to upgrade signage at Elk Falls after a Dutch tourist died when he slipped and fell into the Campbell River Monday. 12 new signs bearing international symbols for fall and water hazards will be installed. And it turns out that warning signs like these were recommended by the coroner after a Nanaimo man died there under similar circumstances 5 years ago. But as Kristen Robinson reports, not all of the recommendations were implemented.
Tim fell in right about there. He went to get a drink of water.
Stuart McIntosh visits the spot at Elk Falls where he witnessed a Nanaimo man die 5 years ago.
Slipped on that wet edge and fell in and got swept away. That's a terrible thing when needless accidents happen, but also especially sad when it happens to a family and the family witnesses one of their members disappear right in front of their very eyes.
Despite a frantic rescue effort to save 35-year-old Tim Arthur, the young father perished.
You don't want to see that happen again.
But last Monday, a 42-year-old Dutch tourist was swept away to his death after slipping on rocks above the falls. This despite a July 2008 coroner's report into Arthur's death that recommended BC Parks review the placement and appearance of warning signs to ensure they emphasize the high danger level using international symbols and graphics wherever possible. 3 years and 1 death later, 3 new signs are posted, but not all use warning symbols.
I certainly, as minister, would like to know the reasoning behind that. So I'm asking staff to go back and look at that report and the response to the report and why the decision was made to only go with English signs.
In terms of a tracking system to look down the road a year or two, several years later, we don't have that currently, but we're certainly willing to work on that as an agency. But we hope that, as I said earlier, in the spirit of cooperation, these recommendations are taken seriously and to prevent further injuries.
The coroner says his office's recommendations are not binding, and it's hard to say if more signage would have prevented Monday's tragedy. But he will be meeting with government agencies next week, including BC Parks, Search and Rescue, firefighters and RCMP, to do a risk assessment of Elk Falls.
We can't always save everyone. However, what we can do is look forward as a collaborative group.
We have to look at this issue and make sure that the visitors to our BC parks are kept safe. And if that means doing more signs with international symbols rather than using the English language, I think that's something we have to take a very hard look at.
This is a real hazardous area and you've got to be on the ball.
Until more signs are up, McIntosh warns visitors to stay at least 3 meters away from the water in places like this. It could mean the difference between life and death.